Special coverage on KCPT of the Greater Kansas City Chamber's Big Five initiatives is funded by Burns and McDonnell, with additional financial support from Swope Community Enterprises, and by
Coming up on The Local Show, Ken Burns is out with his latest documentary, Blockbuster. We have a preview and talk about its decidedly local connections.
From vaudeville to Verdi, get the inside track on one of Kansas City's most historic theaters.
Gordon Parks at 100, the Kansas native and celebrated photographer, saluted in Kansas City.
And Startup Kansas City. Local entrepreneurs pitch the next big thing.
Principal funding for The Local Show provided by Francis Family Foundation, Frederick and Louise Hartwig Family Fund, Kaufman Foundation, Healthcare Foundation of Greater Kansas City, Hall Family Foundation, Johnson County Community College. Additional support provided by and KCPT members. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Randy Mason.
And I'm Nick Haynes. Welcome to The Local Show. In recent years, you may have dropped by the Folly Theatre downtown for a performance by the Heartland Men's Chorus or City in Motion Dance Theatre, or perhaps to hear a concert in the Harriman Jewel series.
Joyce DiDonato and Roseanne Cash will grace the stage there this weekend. But decades ago, Kansas City came perilously close to losing the Folly to the Wrecking Ball, a fate that befell all of its contemporaries.
But as you're about to see in this edition of our Perform Arts series, in conjunction with KC Studio Magazine, against all the odds, this 112-year-old theatre at 12th and Central is very much alive and well.
The Folly has been here since 1900, originally designed by Louis Curtis. He designed a number of buildings in the Kansas City area, and then in 1901 it changed over, so it did not remain the standard for very long, and the shows were the burlesque and vaudeville and, some long-running plays at that time. Abe's Irish Rose was one that was a long-standing program. So she is the grand old lady of 12th Street, and she still remains as the oldest theater in Kansas City.
But this might be the image that springs to mind for a great many Kansas Cityans. The brand of dance and disrobing that the Folly focused on after reopening its doors under that name in 1941. A style that over the decades grew more and more risque. In fact, by the time it closed in 1974, the Folly had X-rated skin flicks in the mix as well. Within a few more years, it seemed doomed to become another downtown parking lot.
The Pigeons had dumped about 9.5 tons into the theater from all the broken windows and everything else. One of the chandeliers had actually fallen down into the balcony. It was horrible.
When Joan identified this building and saw that it was possibly destined for the Wrecking Ball, she stopped Charlie Wheeler in the street and said, "We've got to do something. We must save this building."
Joan Dillon and her husband George, along with other local luminaries like Bill Doremus and Mayor Wheeler, not to mention Walter Cronkite, helped lead the charge that turned the tide, ushering the Folly into a brand new era in November 1981. But it's one thing to turn on the lights, and another to sell enough tickets to enough different shows to keep the enterprise afloat. Cynthia Siebert has been a believer from the very beginning. Her friends of chamber music have made the Folly their full-time home since 1985, largely for one simple reason: how good it makes soloists and small ensemble sound.
Invariably, the artists say this is one of the very best halls they've ever played in. In fact, Lincoln Center Chamber Music Society said, "My goodness, we couldn't believe it." Each one of us separately said, "Oh, you've got to go out there and see what it sounds like in the audience."
Those top-notch acoustics aren't just in the ears of classical music fans either. The Follies Jazz Series has been a staple for much of the last 30 years, playing host to both the best of the old guard and ambitious young lions like pianist Vijay Iyer, who stopped by with his trio in mid-October.
We've had artists here who come in and they say, hey, I'm thrilled to play on this stage because I know that, the Marx Brothers played on this stage. I know Humphrey Bogart was on this stage. And I think that history has a relevance, yes.
As a member of the Follies board, Bill Shapiro has been doing his share and more to bring a new audience into the hall. The concert series, based on his popular public radio program, targets rock, pop, gospel, and folk fans who might find the Sprint Center too big or club shows too noisy.
The acoustics in that room are phenomenal. The other thing is that the proximity of the audience to the stage is amazing. The throw between the front of the stage and the balcony is 50 feet. Almost every artist that I've brought in over the last 6, 7 years has commented on what an amazing place this is. Randy Newman told me it was the best room acoustically he had ever played anywhere.
What the Folly has never had is a spacious stage, or plenty of room in the wings. But despite that, the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater has used it consistently over the years, for public performances at night, and for school groups like these during the day. Because the Folly also produces a children's series of its own, the sight of young people streaming through the doors is nothing out of the ordinary.
Watching all these kids, ushering them into the theater, and then listening to them as they see their first live performance in many cases, it's very rewarding. We know that they'll remember it for years to come.
In all the years that we've been here, which is now 27 years, never once had a problem. With the stagehand, with the house manager, everything has gone perfectly smoothly. Now, I've had heaters and boiler systems that have been a little too loud. We tend to routinely turn them off during the concerts if we can. And there are the charming issues of the sirens from outside that do penetrate the wall. But that you will have in almost any major city.
In other words, 100-year-old homes have their issues. And the arrival of a certain new hall just a few blocks away has made that even more apparent.
Obviously, everybody wants to be at the Kaufman Center and see all the wonderful new shows there in the beautiful building, and it is extraordinary. But I think that the Folly also has a very special place in people's hearts in Kansas City. I think that they are both part of the arts community and will continue to be for a long time. And we're constantly looking for other ways to enhance that bottom line because we want to stick around.
Which brings us back to where it all began, burlesque. The comics and singers, Aerialus and Ecdysius, look it up. All playfully packaged together for the 21st century.
One of the great things about this show is that we highlight local performances and local performers that really shine and give them a chance to be a part of the vaudeville experience and do what they do in a slightly different construct.
We are in fact classy, but what I like about us is that we can really run the gamut from classy to not classy at all.
Burlesque has been booming across the country lately, and the Follies' status as the real deal back in the day makes it a magnet for the new wave of performers practicing their craft. Despite being lost in the land of the giants, the theater just got easier to find. It's hard to believe, but there's been no external signage on it for almost 40 years, until now. On a surprisingly mild November night, the Follies' most faithful took to the streets with champagne in hand, to once again light the lights and raise a toast to the grand old lady, with best wishes for her next 100 years.
Once you've seen certain types of acts here at the Folly, it's just something that's pretty hard to beat. It's a very special experience and very intimate for both the performer and the audience.
I've had the pleasure of having one of my grandchildren here for one concert. I want the other one to have a concert, and I like for everybody's grandkids to have this. I really think this is important. I think it's important to preserve the integrity of the music, integrity of live performance.
This week marks Global Entrepreneurship Week in Kansas City, as designated by the Kauffman Foundation. While there are around 40 different events across the metro designed to appeal to future entrepreneurs, on Monday at the Kauffman Foundation, 24 of the area's top startup businesses pitched their ideas in front of an audience of potential financial partners, mentors, and just plain interested folks. KCPT had its cameras there, along with video journalist Justin Bond.
So this event is all about exposure. This event is going to highlight 24 of the best startup companies here in Kansas City. It's no accident that we started with an event that features the local entrepreneurs. We wanted to get down to the real people who are doing it, the people, the risk takers, the people who have put their day jobs, put their lives on hold so they can start a company, cashed in IRAs. We really wanted to start with the real entrepreneurs in the room.
How many people have heard the phrase, sitting is the new smoking? There's a cost we pay for our sedentary lifestyle, which is basically sitting for more than 3 hours a day. Similar health risk to smoking and obesity. SoulSeed is designed to be an answer to that challenge. It provides the knowledge worker a chance to keep these deep postural muscles active.
How much?
$6.98, and this one, leather, is $9.48.
Where are these seats made? How are they made?
They're made, I assemble them in my garage at this point.
Is it patented?
It is patented, yes. 8,297,706.
The internet's bringing together buyers and sellers from all over the world today. The problem is, individuals do not have the tools to close these type of transactions by themselves. And you find your dream car, a Shelby Mustang GT500. So you text the number on the ad, you exchange some emails with pictures in it, you're going to be asked to wire $48,000 to an unknown seller 7 states away and hope this shows up in your driveway in a week. PaySafe provides an online closing table where we can create, negotiate, and close these transactions.
Who's asking for this service for you to sit in the middle? Is it the buyer or the seller?
The buyers are the most eager for this because all the power's in the seller.
Rec Bob is all about making sports after work more fun. A lot of sports after work is really left up to the player. And there's a lot of headaches when you get everybody scheduled together and logistics and just all those organizational tasks. So that's what Rec Bob is focusing on solving first. Rec Bob is really just the missing piece of all of these functional tools that are already available out there. And we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We're really just building a new interest-based social network on top of everything that already exists and making it really simple, just right down to a text message.
Who here, by a show of hands, is familiar with the request for proposal process, otherwise known as the RFP?
RFP 365 helps procurement teams create RFPs, distribute them to bidders, track the responses, and score results.
So have you started to work with cities here in the metro to get them to adopt this and they start to use it?
We have started our talks with numerous city governments and some counties and such.
I'm curious about the business model in terms of how do you make money?
We have a per RFP fee, so the issuer pays a small fee and responders also pay a small fee.
The intent of the brand is to help consumers enjoy their meals more through greater flavor varieties and to help retail stores generate an additional revenue stream. The #1 condiment in the U.S. is ketchup. 97% of households have it in their home. Consumers really want flavor choices. You look at the mustard market, there are dozens of them on the shelf. So what's wrong with the market? Well, people say ketchup is just ketchup. And why do they do that? Because there's limited use by adults, because the flavor doesn't go with very many foods. Fine Vine's artisanal ketchup is intended to add an Epicurean condiment profile, which is to say elevate the standard for ketchup, making meals more gourmet. So what does the brand look like today? It looks like this. It features flavor. It features differences. And what does it do on the store shelf? It creates interest in the category very quickly. You get about 0.6 of a second to get the customer's attention.
Or have you got a program to help consumers understand the different things they can do with these different kinds of ketchups?
That's why we want the food influencers, the bloggers, the chefs. If you see our branded product on a white tablecloth restaurant menu by name, that will give people permission, if you will, to use other flavors.
We're all in this together. If we are going to become America's most entrepreneurial city, we've all got to be rowing in the same direction. We've all got to be figuring out what these companies need, how we can help them, and you can't help them if you don't know who they are.
The name Ken Burns has become synonymous with some of public television's biggest blockbuster documentaries.
There was the Civil War, baseball, jazz, the national parks. Well, this Sunday night on KCPT and PBS stations around the country, watch Ken Burns' latest documentary epic, The Dust Bowl, a morality tale about our relationship to the land that sustains us, a lesson we ignore at our peril.
Let me tell you how it was. I don't care who describes that to you. Nobody can tell it any worse than what it was. There is no way for it to be exaggerated. It was that bad.
It was almost surreal. The dust, there's nowhere you can run. You can try to get out of it, but it's as if it follows you. You can't escape it. I think it carried with it a feeling of evil.
It was a natural catastrophe of biblical proportions, when the skies refused their rains, when bewildered families huddled in darkened rooms while angry winds shook their homes. It was the worst man-made ecological disaster in American history, when the irresistible promise of easy money and the heedless actions of thousands of farmers, encouraged by their government, resulted in a tragedy that nearly swept away the breadbasket of the nation.
It's a classic tale of human beings pushing too hard against nature and nature pushing back.
The Dust Bowl belongs on the list of the top 3, 4, 5 environmental catastrophes in world history.
It was an epic of human pain and suffering, when normally self-reliant fathers found themselves unable to provide for their families, when thousands of desperate Americans were torn from their homes and forced on the road in an exodus unlike anything the United States has ever seen.
And you can watch the first installment of Ken Burns' The Dust Bowl this Sunday night at 7 here on KCPT. Joining us now is one of our Metro's most knowledgeable experts on that particular slice of our nation's history, Professor Jay Antle, who is also Executive Director of the Sustainability Center at Johnson County Community College. Jay, you actually teach a class to kids 18, 19 who have they even heard of the Dust Bowl before they get to your class?
Most students have heard of the Dust Bowl, but they have no real conception of its scale, its magnitude, or the horror it brought to the people who lived in the high plains in the 1930s and the dirty 30s. So when I show them film clips and photographs, and the students are amazed and stunned that this could have actually happened in the United States and in a place not too terribly far from here and not too terribly long ago.
You think it brings great lessons of stewardship of the land? Is that part of, as a sustainability director, what appeals to you to teach this class?
I think it does. It's really, along with perhaps the destruction of the bison, it's one of these sort of great morality tales in American history about what happens whenever you exceed the carrying capacity of a resource of land whenever we try to harvest it, whether it be, again, the millions of bison who are exterminated, or in this case, the nutrients and the soil of the high plains.
And Ken Burns often does stories that are more national in scope. I'm thinking, are people going to dismiss it as a regional thing? Is that a worry, or does it somehow play as this greater man-made disaster epic?
I think once you begin seeing and understanding the scope of these black blizzards, just the sheer drama will draw people in. But beyond that, the story, the lessons are national and indeed global in scope. And indeed, even back in the 1930s, when those dust storms began to descend upon Washington, D.C., the folks who thought this was a local issue discovered that, oh, not so much. And I think that in today's world where we hear things about global warming, what in fact caused Superstorm Sandy on the East Coast, I think these larger questions about how do you reconcile economy and environment, these are driving important questions which make a somewhat regional case study much more applicable on a global, national kind of scale.
Pretty handy for teaching in class, too, because there's probably lots of things you can draw in, including dust storms, what, in the last week, in the last month, right here in the Midwest.
We are in a historic drought period right now here on the Great Plains of the United States. We've had 2 decent-sized black blizzards out in western Kansas, and this is now. This is not 60, 70 years ago. And what's keeping things together now is we have center pivot irrigation, we have the Ogallala Aquifer. The real question, and this is asked at the end of Ken Burns' documentary, is what happens when all that water runs out? And that's a challenge that we're all going to have to face here on the plains a few decades down the road.
I appreciate the fact that you bringing the knowledge that you bring are able to share it with us here on The Local Show. So thanks so much, Jay, for that. It's great to have you right now here on The Local Show as we get ready for Ken Burns and the Dust Bowl.
Thank you.
This year marks the 100th anniversary of the birth of Gordon Parks, recognized as one of the most important photographers of the 20th century.
Well, the Fort Scott, Kansas native is best known for his iconic images in Life magazine. Parks, the youngest of 15 children, was also a novelist, co-founder of Essence magazine, and a successful filmmaker.
Now, when he passed away in 2006, he was eulogized as a true Renaissance man who constantly pushed boundaries and broke stereotypes.
Over the weekend here in Kansas City, Gordon Parks Elementary School threw a centennial celebration to honor the trailblazing artist at the historic Gym Theater. And Parks' daughter flew in from London to join the musical salute to her late father.
I visited the Gordon Parks School. I've been there twice. And every time I go there, I wish I was that age that I could go back to school, because the atmosphere, the vibration there is so loving. And my father really was a very loving person, and he gave himself to a lot of people, which sometimes made me very mad because I was in competition with the world. But anyway, as you get older, you understand the man, and you understand why he did this, because he really had an addiction for creating.
It was he who said that enthusiasm is electricity of life, and how you get it, you act enthusiastically until you make it a habit. When they named the school after him, they weren't just trying to give him a tribute. They were trying to teach a lesson that we emphasize every day at the school, that anything is possible, that every one of our students has to find their talent.
At the Gym Theater, students from Gordon Parks Elementary performed the prologue of a new musical honoring the life of the school's gifted namesake. The world premiere will be next June, and the school hopes to perform it every year. While we remember Parks' photographs, he was an accomplished novelist and poet, and director of countless films, including the 1969 drama The Learning Tree, which recounts his own experiences of racial discrimination growing up in rural Kansas.
For the first time, an African American had directed and produced a motion picture for a major studio. After a generation of films in which blacks were only seen as servants or comic relief, Parks had awakened the Hollywood big shots to the prospect and profit of black filmmakers telling genuine, thought-provoking black stories. And Mr. Parks was only getting started.
Hey, what's happening, Marty? Same old 6s and 7s, Shaft. Two guys were looking for you like 10 minutes ago. Harlem Cats? How in the hell should I know it? Everybody looks the same to me. Take it easy, Marty. Shaft.
The quiet conscience of Gordon Parks would be an inspiration to a new generation of artists, particularly young filmmakers of color like me. I too was forced to leave school early. Only that's when I picked up a choice of weapons and my life took on direction. I know the same is true for so many others. Spike Lee, John Poindexter, the Hughes brothers, all owe a debt to this brilliant and resilient man from Port Scott, Kansas.
We leave you with the music of Gordon Parks, a centennial celebration from the Gem Theater at 18th and Vine. I'm Randy Mason.
And I'm Nick Haynes. We'll see you next time on The Local Show.
Principal funding for The Local Show provided by Francis Family Foundation, Frederick and Louise Hartwig Family Fund, Kaufman Foundation, Healthcare Foundation of Greater Kansas City, Hall Family Foundation, Johnson County Community College. Additional support provided by and KCPT members. Thank you. Special coverage on KCPT of the Greater Kansas City Chamber's Big Five initiatives is funded by Burns and McDonnell, with additional financial support from Swope Community Enterprises, and by